Hello everyone, welcome back to Kristine Szabo Raw. Thank you for being here, for changing your life, for changing the lives around you. I want to talk to you about how are you going to change your life? How are you going to do it? How are you going to not feel a certain way? How are you going to break free from self-sabotaging behaviors? How are you going to get out of the dis-ease and the dysfunction that is driving you day by day, every day? There's one way to do it, and that is to take massive action. Nothing is going to change in your life if you don't start to take the steps that you need every single day to change. And that is what this channel is about, and that is why you are here, because you know that you can have a greater life, a happier life, a more peaceful life, a stronger life, a more compassionate life. And in doing so, in being here, learning these tools, you're going to be looking at yourself in the mirror every day with a smile, knowing that you made it, that you're proud of who you are, and that you're making a positive impact in this world because of that. And I commend you for being here. Congratulations. Today, I'm going to talk to you about one of the things that crippled my life the most throughout my life, and that was addiction to binge eating. You see, binge eating started for me when I was 15 years old, and I was sent to Santiago, Chile to live for the summer with a family. It was like a foreign exchange program, and I didn't want to go. I was scared. Of course, I was 15 years old. What did I know? But my mother, she was adamant in always exposing me to internationally. I was very lucky for that, and so she sent me. And while I was there at night, I couldn't sleep. I remember laying in bed and just feeling lost. I was raised with an agnostic mother and an atheist father, so I had no faith, no God, no Jesus to talk to. I didn't really know the family, so I couldn't confide, or I wasn't even comfortable enough to watch TV or do anything like that. So what did I do? I would sneak down to the kitchen of the house every night while everyone was asleep, and I started to pull food out of the refrigerator and eat. And as I explained to you in the last episode, one of the last episodes, I explained to you that when you eat, your body takes up like 90% of its energy. And so in the eating and overeating and binge eating, I realized that I would go upstairs to my room afterwards, and I would put myself in kind of a state of a coma, where I would fall asleep. I would be hot because my body was on overdrive, over processing too much food. I would, get night sweats, but I would sleep. And I'd wake up in the morning and I would have my day, and then at night the cycle would start all over again. And within the course of the 2 months, I had gained something like 15 pounds, something extraordinary. And I got off the plane in Los Angeles, and I remember my brother's face and my mom's face, and they're like, wow, you must have had a good vacation, and I was like, no, I'm sick. I'm binge eating. I have a problem, Mom. And I told her. And she brushed it off. She said, no, you're fine. I said, no, you don't understand. I have a problem. And it wasn't that she was a bad woman. She just didn't have the tools to recognize my pain and my dis-ease and my dysfunction. And so that started my early adulthood, teenagehood struggle with binge eating. I would hide candy under my bed, and I would, come home from school and binge eat. And I would do things that would, just make me so uncomfortable within myself, but I didn't know how to break that cycle. Well, when I started modeling at 18 years old, that added another layer to the trouble. because here I was getting measuring tapes put around my waist and around my hips, and it was like my entire disease was put on a silver platter in front of me. How are you going to handle this? I thought. What are you going to do? So I started going into bouts of starvation. And I would starve myself, and then I would binge. And then I would starve myself, and I would binge. And I tried to purge. I would try to throw up, yet after a binging episode, but something, the way my body works, I would scratch out my throat and I could never do it. Like I would try, believe it. It's not a pretty thing to think about, sitting over a toilet, trying to jab your finger down your throat and you cannot throw up. I would scratch it with my little fingernail. And so I realized after a really quick time that that was not for me, fortunately, because I know that people who struggle with bulimia, I've been in eating disorder clinics with them. That adds something else that's very, very dangerous for the body, especially bringing up the acids through the throat to the teeth. You wear out your enamel in your teeth. You wear out, the acids do a lot of damage. So please, anybody you know who you believe is struggling with bulimia, binge eating, anorexia, before I continue in this story, please, I want you to take the responsible action and share this video. Like it so more people can see it. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and share this channel, because I'm here today to tell you that I became an anorexic, binge eating to the maximum degree, where I was put at 21 years old into a private eating disorder clinic in Sydney, Australia, where I was 98 pounds, which is almost 30 pounds lighter than I am today. And I was lost. I wasn't feeding my brain. I wasn't feeding my body. I was causing more post-traumatic stress disorder neurologically. I hated myself, even though I was on the cover of magazines and shooting for Vogue, Elle, Marie Claire. It seems absurd, but that was me. That was my story. But I'm healed. And today I'm going to give you the one trick that healed my binging. And believe it or not, it was through binging. I'll explain to you why. See, my mother used to tell me, going back to when I was a teenager, and she started to recognize, of course, that there was a problem. She wasn't that out of it. She recognized, and she would tell me, well, why don't you just binge on something healthy like carrot sticks? Oh my God, that used to drive me crazy. Don't you hate it, you guys, when somebody has like a suggestion or an answer to your dilemma, but it's so disconnected to what the truth is that you just want to be like you can't explain to people unless you're in it. We cannot empathize with people who are going through something, really, unless we haven't gone through it too. And that's why I'm here. Because I can empathize with you. I know the struggle. I know the pain. I know not being able to go to bed at night without snacking, without binging, without doing that. So this is what I discovered. I bought myself a air popping popcorn machine. Okay, I know a lot of you guys probably know what that is, but for somebody who binges, and as we know, those of us who do, we want to binge on carby, sugary, sweet, or salty food, right? And we want this motion. We want the satiation. We want the activity. We want to feel busy. We want to take our thoughts away from whatever we're thinking on and just think about the binge. And then the binge makes us numb. So I bought this popcorn machine and I started to pop when I felt like binging massively big bowls of organic air popcorn, okay? The machine is super inexpensive. I think it's like $35. Popcorn is super inexpensive. You can buy an entire bag of popcorn for less than $5. Healthy organic olive oil that lasts you like, I don't know, 50 pops. And some Himalayan salt, pink salt for the minerals. And I would come home, and when I felt like binging, I would pop a huge bowl of air popped popcorn. And I would sit there in front of the TV or whatever I like to do, and I would just binge. I would binge. And you know what I would do when I would wake up in the morning? I would feel a lot better because I wasn't poisoned. And the fiber in the popcorn actually let me go to the bathroom, as opposed to when I would be binging on donuts and muffins and cookies, and it would like constipate me, and I'd wake up and I'd be like swollen with like this huge gut. No, the popcorn was good for me. It took the time and it took my mind away. And I still, sometimes when I feel like having a snack, although I never feel like having a binge, because now I've been able to heal my mind, right? So we know that I've been able to go through healing of the prolonged post-traumatic stress disorder, the anxiety and the depression, the neurological dysfunctions that were driving me to want to binge. So here in this channel, I am giving you step by step the tools to heal your mind, to heal your patterns. But I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not going to tell you stop binging and that's how you're going to get better, because you're not. It's impossible. Anybody who says it's possible, it's not possible. If you're a binger, you want to binge. So start binging on air pop popcorn. If you don't have air pop popcorn, go to the market and buy those puffed corn or puffed kamut, even like a Rice Krispies, something that is a 1 or 2 ingredients snack. Rice cakes is another one. And start to binge on these clean, carby foods that will allow you to keep you busy and will allow you not to have the neurological, emotional consequences as a poisonous binge would. I'm going to talk to you about, in future episodes, other ways and other habits that I used for myself to help me stop binging, but this was the number one that I want you to implement into your life. And also, if you just like to watch movies and snack, hell, I can't think of a better way to do so. Matthew and I do popcorn night like 2-3 times a week. We love it. So, welcome to your first step to freedom from binging. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.